2007 called. They want the real estate market back. Yuck, 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 yuck. People, what is happening? We are in the middle of the fall 2022 real estate market here in DC, and I don't know what is happening. There is an onslaught of daily emails from real estate agents announcing price drop, price reduction, new price, come and get it, second chance, buyer, whatever. Fell through. This is unbelievable. The other morning, I got 47 emails between 6 a.m. and noon from other real estate agents, all announcing some version of a price drop. And guess what? Nobody cares, other real estate agents. Nobody cares. Why? Especially not the buyers right now. And we are going to talk about it, because what are the buyers doing and how is this thing going to end? Let's chat. I am Melissa Terzis, even though I'm wearing my 2007 Kate Gosselin wig. I am Melissa Terzis, DC Real Estate Mama. On this channel, we talk about all things living in DC to include the surrounding metro area. If that's your thing, that's your jam, that's what you like, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you get notified when there's new videos, which I try to do once a week. And also subscribe or hit the little bell icon so that you can be notified every time there's a new one. If you need me, I'm also going to put my contact info up here. It is not Karen or Kate or anything like that. It is Melissa Terzis. There's my phone number, my information. If you need anything or you have any real estate related questions or needs, please feel free, get in contact with me. I am happy to help. And I promise I will not call the manager. Okay, so despite the negative news out there right now and the high interest rates, I am actually considering maybe buying another investment property right now. Why now, you say? Why not? The competition is at an all-time low right now, despite the interest rates, right? This is probably a good time to buy. No competition, ability to think for a hot second before you actually make a decision, can negotiate on home inspection, might even be able to get a seller credit. We haven't seen one of those in many, many years. I am not bothered by the interest rates, okay? Here's why. My mantra about this whole thing is basically this. Buying a house just because the interest rate is low is like getting married just because the Four Seasons offered a discount on their wedding venue. It's a stupid reason, okay? And I'm gonna say it again. Buying a house just because the interest rates are low, do I have to call the manager, is a really stupid reason, as stupid as getting married just because the venue at the Four Seasons is half price, okay? So if you don't like my logic, then let's maybe consider hearing from a man who's got a couple pennies jingling around in his pocket, Warren Buffett. Be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. And right now, people are fearful of buying real estate, which means it really is probably a good time to pay attention and see what's happening out there. All right, now let's talk locally in DC, what's actually happening in DC in the metro area. Well, just got out of a sales meeting. Showings are down 26% this year as compared to this time last year. That is pretty crazy. All right, there's something else. The economist from our local MLS in the region, which is Bright MLS and the multiple listing service, said during the last week of September, more than 60% of the sellers in DC have dropped their asking price. Duh. I already knew because I'm getting all those emails in my inbox. It's crazy. She went on to say to expect that the price growth is probably going to be flat for the last few months of the year, with the biggest risk of price declines in places where the prices ran up much more quickly than they did in other areas and in the metro average. She specifically cited Prince George's County, which is up 29% over the last 3 years, Loudoun County, which is up 28% over the last 3 years, and Frederick County, which is up 38% over the last 3 years. So we're going to talk about more things that idiots say, but just to show you for a quick second that I am not one of those idiots, I am going to present to you my comments in a Facebook group of the company where I used to work before where I am now. And there were really some interesting conversations in there. There were days that I was sure that this group was a practical joke with some of the stupid things that people used to say. And then after somebody who was somewhat in leadership made a pretty uneducated proclamation about how this is not a bubble, here was my response. This is from February 23rd of 2021. I disagree about the bubble. I think some markets absolutely have a bubble. When you have a house in suburban Maryland in an area with subpar schools that had a house a year ago that didn't sell for $400,000, now getting 50 offers and going over $500,000, that is a bubble. There cannot be such a huge shift in demand like this that is sustainable. And that is exactly where we are now, like 18 months later. That didn't take long. Not at all. While other talking heads wanted to chat about stats and the money supply, clearly not realizing that when interest rates are low rates are going to eventually lead to inflation. There's more money out there chasing the same goods and services. That's why we saw inventory drop. And then you get skyrocketing prices when the rates stay low for too long. Obviously, an oversimplification. Most days I believe that I'd like to think the Fed knows what they're doing, but I think that they're now realizing they are chasing this out of the gate right now, trying to offset what is happening with the crazy inflation and declining stock market, which is like a whole other problem. At that point, I said the following to these talking heads. March 31st, 2021, here's the text. The massive backlash right now and people leaving the cities and urban areas to drive prices up in areas where nobody would touch a house a year ago, that is a problem, and no stat would ever tell that story. So Prince George's County, Frederick County, Loudoun County, touche. I mean, I want to say we all knew it was coming. Maybe not we all, but I did. Traffic is back. People are going back to work, and here we are. So let's talk a little bit about buyer and seller psychology, just so you can get an idea on the ground of like what's really happening. So I have clients who have been negotiating with a seller for, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, this has been going back and forth, sort of withdrawing offers and maybe reconsidering and thinking about things for about 6 weeks. And so what's the real problem? Well, the house is overpriced. And so initially when they saw the house, they offered 5% below the list price after they were on the market for about a week. And my assessment of that was that that was actually a gift, because compared to all the comps and everything else that was going on out there, this house should have been priced much lower than where they started. All right. He's probably overpriced by 10%. And he said no. And he's a builder. I feel like he should have known better, because times haven't gotten better since that offer. They've gotten worse. So 30 days after the property was listed, he finally reduced the price a mere 2% off the original list price. Whoa! Call the bargain hunters, everybody. There's a bargain to be had. There's not a bargain to be had. This is still not even anywhere close to where the price needs to be, okay? So my clients decided to try again, except this time instead of offering 5% off original list, they offered 7.5% off the original list. Needless to say, my understanding of this situation is that the seller/builder wasn't happy. Wanted to know where that other offer went and what was happening. Their reason was this, and I need everybody to pay attention. Rates are up 1 full percent from 30 days ago, okay? That's going from August to September. Rates are up 1 full percent. Went from 5 and change to 6 and change. All right, since our first offer, another 30 days has passed. You have no other offers. The house is worth significantly less to us now than it was 30 days ago. Bravo to my clients. Hashtag nailed it, okay? That is the perfect example of buyer and seller psychology, right? Buyers were willing to pay a slight premium to get it under contract early in its listing life so that they could avoid any type of competition, beat out other potential buyers. The seller thought, I could still get a premium for this. This is a new home. He had all his reasons, all of the upgrades that he made. Unfortunately, that ship has sailed. 6 months ago, he probably would have gotten his price. A month ago, I actually feel like he could have gotten 95% of the price, but those were also both different markets with radically different interest rates in the 3% to 5% range. So this house is now going to cost the buyers more if they ratify a contract and pursue it. This is what the seller is not realizing, but from the buyer's standpoint, the price they're willing to pay went down. Speaking of interest rates going down, my next section, stop listening to stupid people. I don't know which one of you needs to hear this or everybody needs to hear this, but you have to stop listening to stupid people, because there's a lot of them out there running around acting like they know what's going to happen. Here's the thing. Nobody has a crystal ball. And I say this all the time. Nobody knows what the market's going to do and where the bottom is and where the top is until we're 6 months out typically, and we can kind of look back and go, oh, that's where the peak was, that's where the bottom was. There are many, many real estate agents out there who said that the prices weren't going to go down if the rates went up. You know who you are. Some of you still have posts on social media that you haven't gone back and taken down, showing all kinds of fun graphics. I made fun of you then. I'm going to make fun of you now. I'm going to continue making fun of you because you've got these nonsense little graphs that said, oh, if rates are 2.5%, but they go up to 4%, even if the price comes down X amount, you're still going to have a lower monthly payment if you buy now. I mean, all of that was so self-serving. Did anybody not see through that? The rates that they showed were 2.5 to 4. Guess what, moron? You never expected that the rates were going to go to almost 7, which is where they are right now today. Thanks, Fed. Thanks a lot for falling asleep at the wheel when you were supposed to be paying attention to all this stuff. Anyway, here we are. We have to get our brooms out and clean up the mess after you. All of this infuriates me because this is exactly what the idiots were saying in 2007. Do you love my 2007 hairstyle? And it's exactly what they're saying now. And most of these people don't even have the experience or the years in the industry to have any idea, to have seen this before, to know how it's going to play out, to understand economics, and to know where we're headed. All right? Some people are trying to revise the narrative in the present, which is also hilarious. So I was on a call about sales, appraisals, how to make things work and not work when the market is shifting as quickly and the way that it is. And somebody on the call was saying something along the lines of like, well, we have to advise the appraisers that the price must go up. And because they obviously didn't say it loud enough in their Zoom chat, they kept saying it over and over, to which point I had to reply and say, you cannot engineer a market. Okay, I don't know what world this person is living in, but prices don't gotta do anything. A market is a market. Markets are very efficient. You got a buyer on one side, you got a seller on one side. They agree on whatever their price and terms are, and then that's how deals are made, and that's how markets move. You can't force an appraiser, which is also illegal, to appraise something for more and tell them that prices must go up. You can't do that. These are the people out here that scare the freaking living hell out of me. And these are the people that are out there helping people make the biggest decision of their life in purchasing a property. Oh my God, I don't understand. Okay, so let's quantify this with some real numbers. All right, let's say that rates were at 3% and you had a $750,000 house. All right, I'm gonna put a cool little graphic up here just to show you. That mortgage payment would have been $3,162. If rates went up to 6% and you still wanted that $3,162 a month payment, your house now has to cost $525,000. So I am sure that you can see now how a price drop from $750,000 to $525,000 is really like totally unrealistic for most sellers. It's just, they're not gonna do it. All right, so now what? Well, is every negotiation gonna result in an impasse? Are prices gonna drop by the hundreds of thousands of dollars? And what is going to happen? Well, the same thing that always happens. We don't need Tawny Katane right now to be writhing around on top of the hood of a car in the Whitesnake video singing, "Here I Go Again." But people, here we go again. Oh my God, God rest her soul, Tawny Katane, she died. It's crazy. So here we go again. Do you remember when COVID first hit and the market basically halted and everybody was like, I'm not buying anything, they were canceling. I mean, even the real estate gurus that I listened to on these podcasts were like, I canceled a whole bunch of purchase contracts because I had no idea what was gonna happen. I mean, that was like stupid. I still had clients who were out there. I'm like, let's go. We wanna be out there when nobody else is out there. It's gonna be great. So COVID halted everything, and then what happened? Life got back to normal. People started realizing like, all right, I might actually be home for longer than I thought. Maybe I need some home office space. People realized they wanted more space, home offices, yards, here we go again, and the market came back. And then it came back with like a vengeance. All right, so now let's fast forward to right now. The media is giving us gloom and doom headlines, and people respond instantly to whatever the media says, whether it's right or wrong. Instantly, they respond quickly, immediately, abruptly. They make changes based on what they're reading, right or wrong. And so right now, everybody thinks that the real estate market is dying and they're hanging it out to dry. Whatever makes it better for people like me who still want to be in it. This too shall pass. People are going to need to buy. People are going to need to sell. A few bad days of headlines. People think it's going to last forever. They start canceling purchase contracts. They start trying to figure out how to stay where they are until what happens? find out you're having another baby, job transfer comes in, grandma and grandpa get sick, or they say, I want to be closer to the kids, or they say, if you move closer to us, we'll babysit for free while you go back to work a few days a week. And suddenly people start thinking, okay, you know what? I want to move again. So if you're a seller, here's my advice. Hang in there. This too shall pass. Once everybody adjusts to the new normal, people are going to return to the market and they're going to want to start buying again. If you're a buyer, I fully contend now is the time to buy. My eyes are focused on this right now. While I'm light on buyer clients and I have a handful who are looking, I am one of my own buyer clients. I'm going to try to look to pick something up, if not in DC, in another city that might be hurting and suffering a little bit with this market as we have it. Buy right now when nobody else is, all right? You can negotiate closing costs. You can have them pay for an interest, have the seller pay for an interest rate buy down. Isn't that like a good idea? I think that's a great idea. You can negotiate for repairs. You can actually do a home inspection. You can have an appraisal contingency. Shoot, you can get a longer time to closing. You can ask for 2 months or more if you want. And you can even think for a few minutes just to decide whether or not you like the house instead of having to quickly buy something. Lenders are getting crafty right now. I'm hearing about all kinds of programs that with products that are going to help you buy and help you get into a house. And this is really a great balance, right? Because you can work on a seller to get the price down, but you can work on a lender to maybe get a better interest rate. They're doing adjustable rate mortgages right now. You can always do that and then refinance into a conventional when rates come back down, because I fully believe that they will. They are not up forever. So the demand that we saw from people for the last several years has been 100% interest rate fueled demand. People were basically only buying because rates were low. And then they were chasing higher and higher prices and worse deals, if you could even call some of it that, right? Foregoing inspection and all of that. So the interest rates completely fueled demand. Now what's going to happen? You're going to start to see a real market again. The demand that we're going to see going forward is solely going to be based on life choices, job location decisions, family decisions. People are actually going to make decisions based on true demand that results in home sales and home purchases. So I would like to say, welcome to the 2022 real estate market. Let me get to my 2022 hairstyle. Is this a 2022 hairstyle? I don't know. Welcome to the 2022 real estate market. I am so glad you're here. I'm Melissa Terzistis, Real Estate Mama. Check in with me, contact me if you need me. My contact info is coming next.